George Alejos.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I'm here today to go over some issues that I think need to be looked at. One of the things that I wanted to cover today was the change in protocol that Mr. Rodriguez and I are going to be changing, and that is that rather than come and discuss any issues with SAHA, we're going to go directly to the HUD OIG office and the local HUD office, where they can immediately look at some of the concerns that we had and not have to wait 8 months for resolutions to some of these issues. So we appreciate the fact that you gave us a chance to follow a certain protocol. We're going to do away with that, and we're going to take the lead on the SAHA lead and go directly to the OIG and HUD, only because we've learned that HUD is investigating the OIG, and according to Mr. Zapata, he was ordered by the San Antonio Housing Authority to investigate you. That was shared with some of the private citizens that he visited and tried to get information on me. But that's okay, I've got nothing to fear. At the end of the day, Mr. Zapata is going to find out that I've done nothing wrong. I don't know why he was asked to go on a witch hunt, but that's okay. So we're not going to any more cover issues with SAHA. We'll go directly to the office of the Inspector General as well as the local HUD office. Okay. The other thing I wanted to cover today is you're going to be listening to some people today. Ms. Rebecca Garza was one of them, about some of the concerns that they have as residents, because she, along with about 6 other people, are going to be addressing the board today about concerns that they had where their property managers, landlords were treated differently, and that they were never asked to be investigated by HUD. In other words, if I've got a guy that cheated a family out of $9,000, and we have the facts to back that up, why didn't SAHA order an investigation of that landlord? So you're going to listen to these cases today. You're going to listen to Mr. Jerry Arispe, a former employee of SAHA, one of the most respected and experienced inspectors that you had, and he was fired. Well, you know, God works in mysterious ways. Mr. Arispe came to me a couple of weeks ago and said, you know, I need your help. I bought a house from SAHA, and they're not honoring the agreement that Mr. Apolonio Flores and I agreed to. And he's just one of about 5 employees that I'm going to be visiting with, because Mr. Arispe is very knowledgeable about the HUD homes that SAHA was given back in 1993 or whatever time frame it was. He bought one, and some of the other people bought houses. But the promises that were made to them were not kept, and he's going to address the board today about his issues. And the thing about Jerry Arispe is he's got a wealth of knowledge. 6 minutes are up? 3. Okay, I get 3 minutes from Ms. Coombs.
I know Mr. Arispe and respect.
What's that?
I know Mr. Arispe and respect.
Okay, good. Mr. Arispe has a wealth of knowledge. He's very familiar with the 211 houses that HUD gave Apolonio Flores and SAHA to make available to low-income families. When he couldn't get the job done, he gave it back to HUD, except that some of the employees bought some of the houses. Then Mr. Arispe also knows about the RTC properties that SAHA was given back in 1990 and was told to sell them to first-time buyers, low-income families. And to this day, he's going to provide us with a wealth of information that we're going to use to try to investigate exactly where those RTC properties are or where they were disposed of. Let's see. Yeah, and in his case, Mr. Arispe had a 401k account. When he was fired, he asked for those funds to be released. And he was told by SAHA that he could not use those funds to pay off his mortgage. But yet he could use those funds to pay off a truck that he paid off when he withdrew the funds. So again, if I've got money in a 401k and I can use that money for my own purposes, why did SAHA deny him the release of those funds so he could pay off his mortgage? Just because they had a 9% loan, I think, and he was trying to get the note paid off. So you'll hear that from Mr. Arispe. So he was, in fact, shortchanged about $7,000 when he wasn't given credit for the payments that he made, as promised by Mr. Apolonio Flores. And let's see, the other thing I wanted to cover today was the fact that Ms. Madeline Bowen is working on some cases involving some residents from Alazan Apache, Lincoln Courts, and Villa Viramente. Now, Ms. Bowen met with 5 families today, and those 5 families had some concerns about the treatment they've received from staff, but the fact that one of them is being evicted for something that occurred on January 22nd. Now, in that particular case, the lady her apartment was raided. She allowed the police inside. They were looking for, I guess, an individual. He had some personal belongings in that apartment that they confiscated. Turns out that there was some guns or something that they recovered. To her knowledge, none of this was told to her. And on Tuesday of this week, Lieutenant Casillas, I think that's his name, called her to say, I want to help you with a threat assessment so you can relocate from Villa Viramende. Lo and behold, she's now being evicted because she breached the contract. And I think we still live in the United States of America where a person is innocent until proven guilty. If any violations occurred on January 22nd, then she should have her day in court and be able to defend herself about the allegations of anything that was stolen and recovered in that apartment. She had nothing to hide. She was an innocent victim of allowing somebody to store her stuff in her apartment while he was looking for other living accommodations. So until she goes to court and gets convicted or whatever, she needs to stay in place and not be evicted. That's all I'm asking you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Alejos. Henry Rodriguez.
Thank you very much, Henry Rodriguez, Concilio Zapatista, 4383, LULAC. First of all, I want to commend you for the great work you're doing. Anytime a new development turns for the best, we all need to celebrate because, after all, that's a step in the very right direction. And that gives us hope that the Lincoln courts in the West Side will also someday will have a better place for them to live. And they definitely also deserve to be fixed up, everything there. There's so many things that are going on, and there was this gentleman that came today. He's very bad condition, and I'm glad Ms. Longoria is going to be taking care of it because he's been threatened and by some of the drug dealers there. And at one time he was very robust, he was very strong, but he's got bad health and cannot defend himself. There's also some issues here that I have. First of all, let me tell you, I guess George, he seemed rather upset that he's being investigated. And I have here some handouts of some of the things that have been going on that we believe should have been looked into and taken to the OIG for investigation. They merit that, and George has mentioned some of them. And I have one, the big handout is for you, sir, Mr. Chairman Interim, or Pro Tem, and so that you can look at it and then pass it on to the rest of the commissioners. And then I have a handout for each of them. They're all very self-explanatory, and I really want to believe that your staff, the staff of SAHA, wants to work with us. Some things fall through the cracks, and I know that things cannot be perfect, but that's why we're here. One of the things that we're doing is we're empowering the people from the public housing as well as Section 8. They're starting some new LULAC councils. We're telling them, you can defend yourselves, you can do the right thing, but we're going to teach them that just lashing out at people for the sake of it is not what needs to be done, but rather let's learn what housing is all about to the core. And it'll be in everyone's benefit, including housing, that everyone will be on the same page and we all can work together in a more efficient manner with the backing of the League of United Latin American Citizens, which is, the oldest and largest Hispanic civil rights organization in the country. We have, these items are very disturbing that I have right here that I'm going to pass to you, and I've been there present where some of those things have taken place. When somebody gets all their belongings thrown out in the street needlessly, and then nothing is done about it, it is a problem. But we do thank you for the work that you've done, the entire board, and President and CEO. We have all the respect in the world for all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr.